Happy Sunday. Welcome, everybody. First round of the fantasy playoffs. We are excited for the football going on today. We're going to read the player active and active news, and then I'll get into your questions. I have a sneeze coming. I got to get it out of here, but here it comes. All right. Glad we got that out of the way. Welcome to the show, everybody. It's freezing cold in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's 2 degrees out, minus 15 with the wind chill. So that Chicago Bears, Cleveland Browns game, that's going to be a fun, cold game if you're there. But anyways, again, we're going to read the player news. I'm hitting update on my feeds here. I'll go over the news and then get your start sit questions in. I'll get to them in just a few minutes. We did get a flurry of updates last night as well. They've been doing really good on those late night Saturday night updates. Let me see what I got here for you. The ones that stood out, we did get Philip Rivers is trending towards starting today, which is pretty exciting. We have Romo Dunze being optimistic that he will play. Devon Achane is expected to play on Monday Night Football. What else do we got here? The Packers running backs, Emmanuel Wilson with an illness downgraded to questionable. They're saying Josh Jacobs is likely to play, but the Packers did elevate Pierre Strong Jr. from the practice squad. So maybe we don't see Emmanuel Wilson today. The Christian McCaffrey update last night was a little strange. He was downgraded to questionable with the back injury, but they're expecting him to be good to go. We'll see what happens there. Brandon Ayuk was placed on the reserved list here, so he's not coming back this season. You guys can dump him in redraft leagues. What else do we got here? Deebo Samuel is expected to play through an illness today. Let me actually just hit refresh on the latest feed and see what we got. But I appreciate everybody hanging out with me this morning. I hope you guys are having a great day so far. Nick Chubb, inactive. Woody Marks, man, I didn't update my rankings yesterday, but I'm going to probably push Woody Marks up in a lot of my rankings here. So Woody Marks, fringe, almost a fringe RB1 today, I'm thinking, against the Cardinals. Josh Palmer, active for the Bills, whatever. Rashad Bateman's inactive today. So I really like the tight ends, Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. They're going to be the second and third target with Zay Flowers up there. So that's a big one. Quentin Johnston, not active today with the groin injury. That one's a bit of a surprise. So Keenan Allen becomes interesting. Ladd McConkey, Oronde Gadsden, all those guys just get a little bit more juice. And maybe even Trey Harris if you guys are playing in deeper formats. Cedric Tillman's active today. Amari DeMercado's active today. That's going to really throw a wrench in the Cardinals running backs. Parker Washington active, and Chris Rodriguez Jr. inactive for the Commanders. He looked like he was trending towards playing. He's not playing today. So Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, if you're in the deepest of desperate situations, I suppose he might be of help to you. So good morning, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. We're going to get into your start sit questions now, so keep them coming. And I appreciate y'all. If you guys are new to the Fantasy Fellowship, don't forget to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And let's get into some of these questions. Good morning, Christian, Burrow, Dak, Lamar. Let me pull up my weekly rankings here and see what I got brewing for us. I want to tend to play Lamar Jackson. I know he's been bad the last month. He finally had some usable fantasy points last week for us, though. And I just want to look at the weather real quick here. I don't really have a lot of faith. I do like Dak Prescott for the high floor here, but that's a tough defense he's still going up against. I'm just looking here. Cincinnati, Baltimore, it's about 12 degrees, a little bit of wind here. It's not the worst weather today, so I don't hate that game, but we have a total of 51.5 points implied in this Bengals-Ravens game. And then the football game tonight, Dallas, Minnesota, it's about 47.5. So I'm probably going to side with Lamar or Burrow here. My rankings, I do have Lamar QB4, Burrow QB5. I think just the rushing upside, I'm going to lean Lamar, but I don't hate all these. Like, these are really good options, man. I'm going to stick with Lamar, though. Christian Watson or Brian Thomas Jr., we are scared. I do think Christian Watson is in for a good day today. In especially questions like these, I like to look at the DraftKings touchdown odds. So Jacksonville here, heavy home favorites against the Jets. Brian Thomas Jr. has the third best odds to score today in this game, plus 205. I think that's a good spot for him. And his receiving numbers, they got him at about 3.5 catches for 44 yards. So 7-8 point floor, third best odds for touchdowns today. I don't hate that. Let me just look at Christian Watson's numbers real quick for you. Christian Watson plus 215 to score. So pretty much the same odds almost as Brian Thomas Jr. But Watson, they have him at 53.5 receiving yards and they have him at 3.5 receptions. So I'm going to say Christian Watson. He's been the better player of late. We're going to go Christian Watson. And good morning, Frosty. I hope you're doing well, man. Rico, Warren, Manungai, pick 2. So this Bears-Browns game, guys, it's let me just pull up the Chicago weather. It's going to be one of their coldest games in history, I believe. I don't think it's the coldest, but it's going to be pretty cold today. It's a high of 14 today, but with the wind chill, it's going to be below 0. So very cold weather. A lot of running football plays will be called in that game. I think you're going to stick with Jaylen Warren. He's the most attractive back of these 3 here. And then it comes down to Rico versus Manungai. I'm going to have Rico Dowdle a little bit higher. Let me look here. I do expect Chuba Hubbard to be involved a little bit, but I think, man, I got Manungai RB36 and Rico RB26, but I'm really unsure of this split backfield with Chuba. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to say Kyle Manungai has a good chance to score a touchdown today. Let's look at those touchdown odds real quick for you and just give you the best opportunity to make a good pick here. I'm assuming Manungai's got really strong touchdown odds, and he's actually got the second best odds to score today, plus 145 in that game. If I look at the Carolina Panthers real quick, Panthers Saints late game. That's weird. They got Rico Dowdle actually at plus 135 as the lead touchdown scorer. So this one's a coin flip. I'm going to stick with my rankings and say Rico and Warren. And good morning to Tony. Happy Sunday, my man. That's true. But the other side of that pillow is Brian Thomas Jr. has a big player too in the beginning of the game that gets them that big lead. So I do think we are starting to get a little bit momentum for Brian Thomas Jr. I know he caught a couple big plays last weekend. I'm sticking with Christian Watson as my answer between the two, but we'll get through it here. Mick Foley. You calling me Mick Foley? I guess I could look like I got the Toyota-thon hat on today for my guy Jordan Love. So if I'm Mick Foley, I'll be Mick Foley today. Chimere, DK or Alec Pierce? Is Pierce no longer startable? I mean, I think they're going to wing this ball a lot with Phillip Rivers today. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but I do think Phillip Rivers is probably an upgrade for Alec Pierce. DK is just such a complete unknown, but he's been playing well throughout the last month or two. He's got terrible touchdown odds, but he does have that, ability in the special teams to make a play there. They have him DK's at 33.5 yards, and his reception totals, they have him going over 3.5. So about 4 for 40, I'll say, for his floor. Let's look at Alec Pierce's floor today. Touchdown odds, Alec Pierce really far down, plus 650 for a touchdown today, which seems kind of fun. And then his reception yards, Alec Pierce is at 28.5. Wow. 2.5 receptions. I guess I'm going Chimere DK. I'm going to go Chimere DK just because of the complete unknown there. And Sport Dog, good morning. We got the 18 PPR Superflex. Action Jackson at QB. Receivers are Jameson and Pickens. Running back CMC Marks. Tight end Bowers. Flex Neal. We're going to bench Warren, Shakir, Burrow, Rodriguez, May, Hubbard. You got some quarterbacks, my man. Whew, this 18 PPR team is loaded. I'm going to stick with Lamar. I think you're going to play CMC and Woody Marks. Those are your top 2 running backs. I do have a little bit of interest in Devin Neal today, but I'm going to keep Jaylen Warren out there as my guy. Going up against the Miami Dolphins, Warren, he's plus 100 to score. If I look at the Devin Neal odds, Devin Neal is plus 150. So significantly better odds for Jaylen Warren to score. And I think he's just a better bet. So I'm probably going to flex Jaylen Warren on Monday Night Football and have some fun watching that game over Devin Neal. I don't hate Devin Neal, but I'm not interested in Shakir or Hubbard or Brian Robinson there. So I think if you want to play Neal, I'm fine with it. But I would play Jalen Warren. Good morning, Harris. What's going on? What's the defense I should pick up for next week? Great call. Let me pull up week 16, and we got to start thinking about the final four for the playoffs. So we got a fun Thursday night football game, Rams, Seattle. So we're not using either of those defenses, I think. Philadelphia Eagles, they're going to get Washington Commanders in Washington. I don't hate the Philadelphia Eagles defense. The Packers defense is going to play Chicago on Saturday Night Football. I don't hate the Packers defense that night. Buffalo Bills get Cleveland. That one, a little bit of intrigue there. Kansas City Chiefs, if the Chiefs are out there, they're going to be at Tennessee. And I'm assuming the Chiefs won't be eliminated today from the playoffs, so they're going to need next week. So if the Chiefs are out there, I like them against Tennessee next weekend. Cincinnati, Miami, I'm not going to touch that one. The Jets, Saints. We've talked about the Saints the last week or so on the show. I like the Saints defense. That one's in New Orleans. New Orleans will get the Jets. Vikings, New York Giants. If you guys want to pick up, honestly, either of those defenses, I think that one's an interesting one. Tampa Bay, Carolina, I think I'm going to stay away from that one. We get Jacksonville, Denver next weekend. I think that's going to be a low-scoring game. Denver's already likely owned. Atlanta, Arizona, we're going to stay away from that one. That one's in Arizona. Pittsburgh, Detroit. That one's interesting. I think I'll stay away from that one as well. Houston's probably owned. They get the Raiders next weekend. New England, Baltimore, probably stay away from that one. And then San Fran, Indianapolis. Let's see how Phillip Rivers looks like today, because I think the 49ers might be of interest to us, but their defense is just not good. They might get JT ran all over them. So it's hard to say, Harris. I would need to know who your top options are. I don't hate Buffalo against Cleveland. I love Kansas City against Tennessee. Very open to the New Orleans Saints. And then honestly, I think just if you pull up ESPN and you just look at the low scoring over-unders, like New York, New Orleans, that's got 39.5 points implied. Maybe even the Jets is not a bad call. So I would look at the over-unders and probably pick a game with a low-scoring defense. But what else do we got going on today? I'm going to hit refresh on some of my feeds. Don't be shy. Get your questions in there, guys. We'll hang out for another 5-10 minutes here and get all your stuff ready for you guys today. I don't have any more updates for us. I'm kind of disappointed today because they have a lot of good games kind of throughout the day, though, and that Packers Broncos game is going to be really good, but it's also during the Lions Rams game, so I'm a little disappointed that we can't see both of those games. Buffalo New England's obviously a great one. I think Chargers Kansas City is going to be a great game, and then the Ravens Cincinnati is the other game that I'm looking for today. We're using Fairbairn as my kicker and Houston as my defense. That is absolute money today against Arizona, and it's in Houston. That's going to be elite, man. That's Fairbairn's as good as they come as a kicker, and obviously Houston, one of the best defenses we've seen in the last few years. So shutdown defense, you're going to have a good time, I think, with those guys. Let me see what else I can find for us today. I'm just hitting refresh on some of my feeds. I'm excited about the best ball playoffs. We got a lot of stuff going on here. I'm pretty shocked that no Quentin Johnston today for the Chargers. Yeah, I mean, we know the Vikings have a good defense, and they're going to get Jackson Dart and the New York Giants. I don't think that team is going to be, super opposing for this Vikings defense. The game's in New York as well. There's 42.5 implied points. Minnesota's already favored by 1.5. So I don't know, something like 22-20 is kind of what they're calling, but Dart does get a little turnover happy sometimes. So I don't hate Minnesota. So we have, I have 2 dynasty leagues. One dynasty league, I actually decided to tank the last couple of weeks to try and make sure I avoided the playoffs so I can get a top 5 draft pick. So that one I tanked. My other dynasty league, I'm the 2-time defending champion, and it's an interesting league. It's a 10-team league, and we have a little different structure to how we do things. So every week, it's just in a 10-team league, we just take the top 5 scoring teams and give them a win. So that's the regular season. You're just getting points based if you score the top 5 that week and have a top 5 team. And then in the playoffs, we take 5 teams into the playoffs. We're going to give the 1 seed the bye, and then it's teams 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to play those 4 teams, and we're just going to take the lowest score and remove them going to the next round. Then we got our final 4. We remove another team, and then their championship weekend is 3 teams, and whoever gets the top score championship Sunday, week 17 wins. So I'm excited of that one. I might be able to do a 3-peat in that one, so we'll see. My main redraft league, I took last for my second year in a row. I got too cute with it, and that was arguably my worst fantasy season I've had in my history. And then the Fellowship Money League's going pretty well, though. Harris got the number 1 seed, that little shyster, and I'm hoping to get through today, first round of the playoffs here. So we did pretty good playoffs in at least 2 of the 4 leagues. But it's the best balls that I'm looking forward to today. The best balls. We got to get some through. Yeah, man. Let's. I plan to see you next Sunday morning. I think. Let's see. So week 17 might be weird. I think I'll be able to do live show on Sunday morning, week 17. But next weekend we'll have regular schedule. So I plan on seeing Sports Dog here with that team that he's got. That 18 PPR league looks pretty good. But yeah, overall it was. I had a fun fantasy season. I learned a lot this season, and I have this one problem of, I've been the commissioner of my main league. This is our 16th year, and I got a little too cute, and so I had to learn a tough lesson where, you know what, I got to take the best player available. Now, last year, Christian McCaffrey burned me because I took him like 5th overall or whatever. And then I passed on him again this year just because I didn't want to do that twice. And I ended up making the wrong choice there. So learned a lot of good lessons this year. I had fun drafting all the best ball teams, and I'm hoping to move on from some of those playoff leagues. So, but that's going to do it for today's show. If you guys do have any more questions, you guys can always reach out to me on Twitter, X at the fellow KGB. I'll reply here. We got an hour until kickoff. I'm going to set some lineups and look around a little bit here. Enjoy the football today, guys. Good luck in the playoffs, and we'll see you tomorrow night. We'll do the post-game notes, Tuesday night waiver wire, Wednesday night start sit, and Thursday night football. We got 4 shows for you guys coming up next week. So thank you. Good luck today. We'll see you guys tomorrow evening. Peace.